එවං මේ සුතං ඒකං සමයං භගවා සාවන්තියං විහෙරති 제තවනේ අනාථ පින්ඩිකංස ආරාමේ අතකෝ අඤ්ඤතරා දේවතා අබින්කන්තාය රන්තියා අබින්කන්ත වන්නා කේවල කම්පං 제තවනං ඕවාසෙන්වා යේන භගවාතේනුපසංකමී උපසංකමින්වා භගවන්තං අභිවාදෙන්වා ඒකමන්තං අන්තාසී ඒකමන්තං තිතාකෝසා දේවතා භගවන්තං ගාතාය අංජබාසී බහුදේවා මනුන්සාච මංගලානි අචින්තයොං ආකංකමානා සොන්තානං බ්‍රෝහි මංගලමුන්තමං අසේවනාච බාලානං පණ්ඩිතානං ච සේවනා පූජාච පූජනීයානං ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං පතිරූපදේශවාසෝච පුම්බේච කත පුඤ්ඤතා අන්ත සම්මා පනිදිච ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං බාහු සංචංච සිම්පංච විනයෝච සුසිංකිතෝ සුභාසිතාච යාවාචා ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං මාතා පිතු උපට්ඨානං පුන්තදාරංස සංඝෝ අනාකුලාච කම්මන්තා ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං දානංච ධම්මචරියාච ඥාතකානංච සංඝෝ අනවංජානි කම්මානි ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං ආරති විරති පාපා මංජපානාච සංයමෝ අප්පමාදෝච ධම්මේසු ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං ගාරවෝච නිවාතෝච සන්තුන්තිච කතං යුතා කාලේන ධම්ම සවනං ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං කන්තිච සෝව චන්සතා සමනානංච දන්සනං කාලේන ධම්ම සාකච්ඡා ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං තපෝච බ්‍රහ්මචරියංච අරිය සංචාන දන්සනං නිබ්බාන සංචිකිරියාච ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං පුන්තංස ලෝක ධම්මී චින්තං යන්සන කම්පති අසෝකං විරජං කේමං ඒතං මංගලමුන්තමං ඒත ඒතාදිසානි කන්වාන සම්බන්තමපරාදිතා සම්බන්ත සොන්තිං ගච්ඡන්තිතං තේසං මංගල මුන්තමන්ති ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං ඒතේන සංච වංජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං
Think of the world, of the earth, of the stars in the dark, being alive. Just being here with you is a blessing to me. It's a miracle. With the knowledge of knowing of what has been done for us, seeing the things the love people gave to us, living the life that we have right now. There are lessons for us to learn and discover through the difficulties and hardships that we face. So, blessings in the air. And I say, hey, my friend, just look around. There's more than you can see. Oh, God's on your time. Many things I'm grateful for in my life. Think of the love that you have all around in your life. It's irreplaceable. All through the years, what made you strong, made you fall all alone. They build who you are. With the knowledge of knowing of what has been done for us, seeing the things the love people gave to us, living the life that we have right now. There are lessons for us to learn and discover through the difficulties and hardships that we face. So, much of knowing of what has been done for us, seeing the things the love people gave to us, living the life that we have right now. There are lessons for us to learn and discover through the difficulties and hardships that we face. So, blessings in the air. And I say, hey, my friend, just look around. There's more than you can see. Oh, God's a new time. Many things I'm grateful for in my life.
Terima kasih banyak-banyak ya, Dek. Terima kasih banyak. Safa.
Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Very good morning to everyone here. Happy to see you on another Sunday Buddha Puja via Facebook Live. If you encounter problem with your audio and visual, it may be due to your poor Wi-Fi reception. Just need to refresh your computer or your Wi-Fi devices. During this online Buddha Puja service, remember to have a calm mind. Very happy to see so many of you already joining us in this Facebook Live. Great. Remember to share with your family and friends, forward the link to them. It's just a reminder to spend their time to be with us. Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome to SJBA 54th online Sunday Buddha Puja service and to our Sunday Dhamma sharing. Let us prepare ourselves by sitting comfortably, relax our bodies and compose our mind. Let go of thinking about the past or about the future. Be in the present moment. I shall now hand over to Sister Anne as the Puja leader. Over to you, Sister Anne.
Thank you, Brother Chan. Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Namo Buddhaya. Let us begin with our Sunday Buddha Puja. May we invite Brother Jim to make the offerings to the Buddha. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, if you have prepared the offerings, you may also light your candles or oil lamps and make your offerings to the Buddha. To the other devotees, let us place our palms together in Anjali and have a calm mind. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us pay homage to the true Puja. Buddhang pujemi, Dhammang pujemi, Sanghang pujemi. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us together take refuge in the Triple Gem and observe the 5 precepts. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinna danna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kami sumiccacara veramani Sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sura miraya macca pamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Imani panca sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani panca sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani panca sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vichacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusanang buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipassiko oppanayiko pacchatang veditabu vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yatidang chattari purisa yugani atta purisa pukkala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo Dakineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyaketang lokasati Vandami cetiyang sabbang sappatani supatititang Saririkadatu mahabodhi Buddha rupang sakalang sada Yasamule nisinnova sabbari vicayang aka Pato sabbanyutang satta Vande tang bodhipadapang Ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita Aham pite namasami bodhi raja namatute Ganasarapaditena dipena tamadansina Tiloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang Ganda sambara yuttena dupenahang sugandina Pujaye pujaniyang tang puja bhajana uttamang. Vannaganda gunopetang etang kusuma santating pujayami munindassa siripada saruruhe pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena jahotumukkang Pupang milayati yata idang me kayo tatayati vinassa bhavang. Adivasettu no bante paniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu uttamang. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame bante buripanya tathagata. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangha supatipanna anuttara. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo Buddhaya. Thank you very much, Sister Anne. And this morning, we are very pleased that we have our Dharma speaker, which is Dato Charlie Chia. Let's invite Dato Charlie Chia. Namo Buddhaya. Sansuki Hotu.
Namo Buddhaya, Brother Chuan, and brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Well, we have a very good morning today. The weather is fine. It is a good day for us to start our Dharma sharing and Buddha Puja. Well, I remember that we last met on Sunday, 1st of August, and you had the first online talk with us. Although you have joined us face to face, that was previous years. You have been very supportive, and you come very regularly, and devotees have been benefiting a lot. And on this 1st of August, that date, I'm sure we will remember. We are very grateful to your contribution to share the Dharma online to many devotees and those who want to learn and understand Buddhism. Your sharing now goes via Facebook and YouTube. What's your view on that?
Well, I think it's one of the new norms that we all have, what they call, got used to it during this period of almost 2 years. And it's to reach out to bigger audience. But of course, the social interaction and as well as face-to-face becomes lacking. But it's good that we now have this chance to try and reach out to as many people as possible, because it is important that the messages are carried on and passing to a lot of our friends out there. So good that many people will be having the access to come into contact and also to join us in our session. It's a great norm.
Great norm with this great technology, and all of us are embracing it. Even bringing now the Dharma to people who are far away. And today we have so many people who are out of the Klang Valley. I understand that you are involved in the founding of the Metta Lodge in Johor Bahru. Is that correct?
Well, that was back in 1979-80 when I was posted to Johor Bahru as a very young surveyor in the Public Works Department, JKR. And of course, the moment I reached there, I was actually almost like an envoy from Chief Reverend K. Suridamananda, the late K. Suridamananda. And at that time, of course, I was invited for several classes and organized in the Maktab Perguruan Temenggong Ibrahim. And I goes down from Kota Tinggi to Johor Bahru in the evenings. And it's probably about 45 minutes drive. And the classes were being, accepted and very well attended. And then we thought of getting Venerable Chief to come down to JB to actually conduct some session. And one of the sessions was actually in Johor Bahru itself. And this was actually conducted in a shop house back in, I think, Taman Seri Pelangi or Taman Pelangi, which was actually one of the members. Now, when I told Chief Reverend that, there should be many Buddhists in Johor Bahru who are English speaking, and at the same time could be members of Buddhist Missionary Society, Malaysia. So he gave me the whole list of the Johor Bahru residents, and I wrote to each one of them to actually invite them to attend the sessions that we are holding in Taman Pelangi. And many sessions was held, and there are people who are English speaking, very yearning to find out the Buddha Dharma in English. And true enough, friends beget friends, and a lot of our old friends, even from our Sunday schools who are working in Johor Bahru, then were also the first ones to attend. And at the same time, I think we had a retreat in Kota Tinggi Waterfall. And I remember the advisor for Maktab Perguruan Temenggong Ibrahim, Mr. Tai. He brought along a friend. And this friend is none other than our late brother Lu Lien Yong, who was income tax officer in Johor Bahru. And he came out of curiosity to attend this this event in Kota Tinggi Waterfall. And he never intended to stay. He just wanted to follow. He drove Mr. Tai in, and then eventually he wants to go back in the evening. But during the whole session, he was so captivated, and he was so interested because, put it this way, he was yearning for the Dharma in English. And there you are, presented. So he told Mr. Tai and myself and says, no, I'm going back in the evening, but don't worry. I'm coming back later part of the evening, bringing my suitcase. And he intended to stay with us for three days. And this was a transformation which we were very proud of, because eventually Brother Lu became the founding or the pro tem secretary of Metta Lodge. So you can see the beginning of interest in Johor Bahru, and it was actually a very historical and memorable moments. And I, being what you call only a temporary office, residential officer in Johor and Kota Tinggi, I decided not to get what you call into administration. But it was fortunate for us that time, Brother Kwek came back from KL to be based in Johor Bahru. And there you are, you have a good candidate to actually lead the group. And I believe he became the first pro tem president of Metta Lodge during the formation. So you can say that it is just a contribution to help set up the group and did my part. So it was a good moment, and I'm very grateful to all the people who later on supported Metta Lodge and make it grow to what it is today.
Oh, wonderful. Well, just some a step will lead you to further things. And now we are having online. I hope we are able to plant the same seeds. For all you know, there may be some people that were listening and they got engrossed in it, and they'll get more involved. They'll be looking for other centers, and it flourished. So at least we are doing something for the Dharma. Gratitude to your effort. And today, online, while we are talking now, being cross-posed to several societies. And one of it is Meta Lodge, Johor Bahru. Our Dharma friends down there are watching and listening. Oh, you can say hello to them. And you have just described some wonderful memories of Meta Lodge, the history of it. I'm also surprised that you are doing so much within the 2.5 years. And well, if that's the case, many of us have a lot to do to emulate your effort. Wonderful. Gratitude to you. Say hello to Johor Bahru.
A very good morning to you, brothers and sisters of Meta Lodge. I'm very grateful and very happy that Meta Lodge has grown up and into a very matured and supportive society to help the transformation of more Buddhists in Johor Bahru, as well as also the surrounding districts. And I hope that you will grow in strength and eventually become one of the premier Buddhist organizations involved in the transformation and also the dissemination and expansion of the Buddha Dharma.
Well, I'm sure the devotees are very happy to hear that, and very happily that many of them have been receiving the seeds, the Dharma seeds at Johor Bahru. Gratitude to you in providing the opportunity to listen to your sharing of the Dharma. That's what the Dhammapada verse 182 mentioned. Heart is the hearing of the sublime truth. This wholesome effort by those offering the opportunity to those of you this morning in making a choice of listening to the Dhamma instead of doing something else. Very good. I hope you are watching, or hope you have shared the link with your family members. Sadhu to all of you. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. All of us must be grateful that you are able to listen to the Dhamma, especially during this COVID. We cannot have the face-to-face. And in fact, this online is able to reach out to more people. And we have also young members who are more IT savvy. They prefer to look at Facebook, and this is very natural. And also grateful that we are able to have a very much sought after Dharma speaker with many years of Dharma sharing. We must be grateful that you are able to share the Dharma with your families. So continue to do that. With that, let us invite Dato' Chalicha to begin his Dharma sharing this morning. Spirit of gratitude, path to success and prosperity. Katanu Sutta.
Okay, brothers and sisters in the Dharma, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Suki Hotu to everyone. And I'm very honored again to be invited to share whatever that I've learned. And also I would like to express in this moment, when out of gratitude for my teachers, especially our beloved, the late Venerable K. Sri Dhammananda, our chief priest. And it is also my other teachers like Venerable Mahinda and Brother Piatan, then known as Reverend Piasilo, and also many teachers like Venerable Sujivo, who was my first meditations teacher in MBMC, and then I brought him to Kota Tinggi to conduct meditation sessions and subsequently starts the Santi Sukrama meditation retreat. And it was actually a sense of gratitude to all these teachers who contributed towards my success and also my learning in the missionary and Dhammaduta work. And indeed, for so many years, almost 45 to 50 years, since involving in the missionary work, I am indeed actually grown from strength to strength. And hopefully I've also transformed myself. You know, sometimes when you get friends and brothers and sisters who have been benefiting from the good work that we all have done, when they come forward towards you and says, well, you were my first teacher, or you were the one who gave me my first Buddhist talk, and I have from that day onwards transformed and become a better person, a simple person, a happier person. And this, what I call feedback, is actually a very, what you call a very enriching and very fulfilling to many of us who have spent our time and our effort throughout so many years, sparing whatever moments that we can have to share whatever we have learned in the Dharma. And it is a sense of joy. There is a lot of joy. And you can see joys in a lot of our Dhamma Dutas, right? All the Dhamma Dutas who have contributed in one way or another. And when you feel this sense of gratitude, you are actually indeed very happy about it. And at the same time, I think I owed my success in my career and in my working experience. I can consider myself a very successful person, working from my earlier days as a public government servant, and subsequently opted for retirement and then joining the private sector, and then working in construction, working in property development, and now finally ending up with the legal what we call fraternity as an advocate and solicitor. So I was, put it this way, I am not what I am today if not for the support of my teachers, of my employers, of my benefactors. And I owe a lot of gratitude. So my success is not alone. It is not built up over just only a short period of time. It's built over a long period of time through a lot of support. And today I'm actually very happy to talk about this virtue of gratitude, which contributes towards the path of success and the prosperity of many people. Now, a lot of successful people in the community, they actually came up because of a lot of support and help from all the friends, associates, business partners. And often than not, because they have this sense of gratitude and thankfulness and appreciation that they express themselves. And the more they express themselves, the more they show their gratitude, the more they express their thankfulness towards all these supporters and benefactors, the more support they will get. So it begets a lot of support as a result of your expression. So it is important that we learn a lot about this gratitude, this power of gratitude, and which can lead us to a lot of success in our life. And the most important sutra that the Buddha has expounded is called the Katanu Sutta. So let us go into this subject. Can we change to the slides? Okay. So brothers and sisters, we all know that the spirit of gratitude is actually a very important virtue. It leads us to a lot of success and prosperity, and the understanding that we are not alone in the path to this, but we have a lot of supporters and benefactors. And especially as expounded by the Buddha in Katanu Sutta, which is a very important discourse on gratitude. The Buddha mentioned that kata means that which has been done, especially that which has been done to oneself. And anutta means knowing and recognizing it. So that katanutta means knowing and recognizing what has been done to one's or for one's benefit. So it's not only understanding what is katanutta, but is to be able to know and recognize. Only when you know and recognize, then only you can learn to appreciate. You can learn to accept that gratitude is given upon to you and that you have benefited as a result. Remember the occasion when after the Buddha's enlightenment, he stood in front of the Bodhi tree, and he paid respect to the holy Bodhi for their shelter, and he stayed there for a week, paying respect, gazing at the tree, feeling so much appreciativeness on how this tree has supported him. So this is a very good example that the Buddha has set for us, that whenever we benefit from something or benefit from somebody, we must reflect upon this and then eventually pay good respect as a result. Now in the sutta, the Blessed One said, what is the level of a person of no integrity? Now often than not, a person of no integrity is ungrateful. This ingratitude, this lack of thankfulness is only advocated by rude people because they became an entirely a level of people where they exhibit no integrity. Imagine when you have a group of people, when you help them and they just don't express any gratitude or thankfulness. Then you will basically come to conclusion that this is a level of people of no integrity. Now, a person of integrity is ever grateful and thankful. So this gratitude, this thankfulness is only advocated by civil people. So it's entirely on the level of people of integrity. In another sutta, the Mangala Sutta, the Buddha has also highlighted this very importantly, that to be grateful is most blissful. Because when you have these positive emotions of gratitude, it exhibits automatically a sense of bliss. And bliss is not attached to anything. You just feel complete, fulfilled, enriched, and happy. And this happiness is not fleeting. It is actually very, very permanent. So people must always be grateful. The Buddha is always full of praise of gratitude. Whenever some good has been done, even among the disciples, the Buddha will always comment and compliment. Now, persons who are always ready to help sometimes are rarely found in the world. But the rarest still are those who remember and are grateful to those who have helped them. So if we are grateful, it's almost sure that we will be happy. Now, without this quality, a person forgets his parents. Because normally, when you see that there was harsh treatment by the children towards their parents, neglect, abandonment, and the rudeness that when a person exhibits and shower upon their parents, even relatives, friends, teachers, and those who have taught him the Dharma, he turned his back on them just when they could be helped by him and when they are in need of aid. A selfish person will then try to isolate himself. So sorry, here it's gone. Can you see it? Okay. So on the other hand, the grateful person makes for harmony and peace. And you will always be remembered and loved. Now, when we say that a person forgets his parents, his relatives, his friends, is that he becomes selfish, he becomes very conceited, he becomes very rude, and forgets about all the services and support that this group of people supports him. This group of people bestowed upon him. And this group of people taught him when he was small, when he became a teen, and eventually when he became an adult. Now, how do we look at these people? Do we find these people of integrity? Or do we realize that these persons have lost the virtues and have not been able to transform. In the Mangala Sutta, there's this verse, Garavo nacha niwatocha, santuticha katanuta, kalena dhamma savanan, etang mangala mutama. Being respectful, humble, contented and grateful and listening to the Dhamma at a suitable time. This is the highest blessing. Indeed, in the Mangala Sutta, gratitude is considered the highest blessing. So if we want to beget respect, if we want to beget blessings, we must try our very best to exhibit the virtue of gratitude. Now, Ajahn Chah has given us a teaching wherein he said that the Buddha taught the virtues of Katanu and Katavedi. That means we know the depth of our gratitude and trying to repay it, because these two virtues are complementary. Now, when you remember that you have a debt of gratitude to these people, especially our parents, we will never mistreat them. We will always ensure that they have a place in their old age, to be comfortable, to be supported, to be having that companionship of you when they are not able to move, walk, or even respond. But they will always be able to feel this sense of gratitude that you return to them. And especially when someone returns gratitude and express their gratitude towards you, how do you feel? You feel happy, you feel satisfactory, and you feel that, that if given a chance again, I would like to continue to support. I would like to continue to give guidance. I would like to continue to give my blessings. And that's how we get success upon success. It's because we are able to remember all these acts and be thankful, right? And to be appreciative. Now, also, when we talk about the spirit of gratitude, it is also the sense of acknowledgement. So if you know that, well, they have done something good, but deep in your minds, you do not have the ability to acknowledge it and recognize that these are acts of gratitude or acts where you should continue to exhibit, you will never be able to progress. So not only we know that there is a debt of gratitude, we must now know what action to do in order to repay this debt. Now, the Buddha says that gratitude is always an antidote for tough times. Because in many tough times, we are grateful. Now, we are all in a pandemic. But we should also feel grateful, even to the government, for maintaining a system to continue to protect us, maintaining the services and utilities that we continue to live a comfortable life, maintaining an economy which, though may be affected, but at least give a chance for people to find ways and means to make a living and successfully supporting themselves and their families. So we should be grateful, though we may complain for the lack of actions. But if we have that sense of gratitude and thankfulness, appreciate what they have done. Appreciate what our family have done in order to hold us together, to support. And when each member of the family has difficulties, the other family comes in to help. Same thing, the community at large. When we see there is occasions where people are in need, in suffering, and where people do not have food, when people do not have jobs, in your little ways, you do something about it. And it is them now who will then feel the sense of support, and they will be grateful. And some of them do come and thank you with their full heart and says, thank you very much. I never realized that kindness and generosity are still ever present in our modern society. Very thankful for all the help that you have given, thankful for putting us back into at least some sense of survival. And when you hear these words, I believe many of you will have tears in your eyes. Tears not because of sorrow, but tears because of joy. Rejoicing. Because there is this spirit of gratitude still present in our society. And we must never lose it, because it will bring us as an antidote for the tough times. And it's also not sure when it will end. The Buddha mentioned to us that we must rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. Because there are many people who complain, who feels that they do not have that good lessons. But definitely you must have picked up a thing or two. So at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So sometimes when we are faced with the illness of COVID, and we may be affected, we may be infected in fact, but yet we recovered. So we are grateful that we have the ability to recover, and we have the support of many to help us to recover. At least we didn't die. So again, when we think back, we have this sense of, in the spirit of gratitude. So gratitude is actually a very positive thinking. It is an antidote towards all the difficult times, that at the same time make us look forward and says that, because of all this help, I'm still able to solve, to manage, and to also overcome. And thus giving you the hope in life. Positive is not on negativities, but positive is because you are able to move forward rather than backwards. Now, when you compare this ratio of gratitude towards happiness, it is also relative. That when you have a sense of gratitude, your mind is pacified. And in its place, you feel happy, you feel rejoicing. And I think this is a lot of our goals in life, that we want to be happy and we want to rejoice in all the deeds and acts that we do. And you also must begin with yourself, that you are grateful to your own self, who is able to do all these things to make times better. So charity always begins at home. Now, when you owe your gratitude to your own self, the ability to control, the ability to overcome, and the ability to develop positive thinking and be happy, have that sense of gratitude. So gratitude to the people who make possible in the planting of our food, in the provision of our clothing, shelter, and medicine. That these 4 basic necessities are never lacking. Now, even in pandemic, we can still go out and buy our vegetables, our necessities. We still got a roof over our head. And when we are sick or when we are infected, there is the availability of tests and medicine. So be grateful for the situation. And then we will never feel remorseful and depressed as a result. I always like to have this quote by Michelle Obama. She mentioned that we learn about gratitude and humility very well because we realize that there are so many people who had a hand in our success. Now, we don't look only at our teachers who inspired us, but also down to the very people who actually cleared our rubbish, the janitors who kept our facilities clean. So we must be taught to value everyone's contributions and treat everyone with respect. I remember my garbage man or garbage truck comes to my street every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Without fail, I'm very grateful for this, that my rubbish is never left overflowing. And the moment the truck comes past, I will stand at the gate and at the door and say thank you. Terima kasih. Because of you, we are all kept clean, we are kept organized, and we are free from the overwhelming stench and smell. So we appreciate even right up to the rubbish collectors, because they, in these kind of times, still comes out and work, and very systematically and on schedule, clean our streets and clean our rubbish bins. So we do not just exhibit gratitude to our benefactors, to our teachers, but also the people who provide services and maintain the services for us. Fortunately for us in Malaysia, we still do not have a failure of systems, but there are many countries who have lost it. And we are very grateful that we have this environment and this situation that is still prevailing. Like we earlier said, gratitude is an antidote for the poisons of a lot of greed, hatred, and delusion. Now remember, whenever our mind is stimulated by our sense doors, when we have a stimuli on an object, whether pleasant or unpleasant, or whether pleasant and unpleasant, as this stimuli comes through our sense doors, it passes to our mind, the sixth sense, who will then decide whether to see some more or not to see some more, or whether don't want to see, please get away. The more you see, the more you want to see, that becomes greed. The more you don't want to see and it doesn't go away, you develop hatred. And when you see pleasant and unpleasant both come at the same time, not having the ability to decide what to do, you are in a state of delusion. And when you have these three evil roots that exist in our mind, you will never be at peace. Your mind will always have these three roots of evil. So until and unless we control it, we deflect it, and accepting the stimuli that we look at it in a very positive way, then we will be able to overcome greed, hatred, and delusion. And one of the biggest antidote towards these poisons of greed, hatred, and delusion is gratitude. So being grateful, being such a positive emotions, we are acknowledging all the good things that happens to us. No matter how unpleasant it is, our bad things actually taught us lessons, taught us about patience, taught us about tolerance, taught us about understanding. And the delusion then directs us to try and discern between the right and the wrong, the good and the bad. And when we have these positive virtues, especially gratitude, we will then be able to slowly overcome our hatred, our greed, and our delusion. The next philosophy is, yes, you have incurred a debt. Someone has helped you. Someone has provided for you. Someone has taken care of you. You must now always remember that there's an obligation to repay. And says, oh, you shouldn't say that, they owe you. I'm entitled. Once you have that attitude, then there is no more gratitude. So when we suddenly realize that our parents, who have worked hard, who have saved every cent in order for our education, and who has actually given us a lot of support and care when we are sick, and sometimes when we are incapacitated, they stood by us. And this is a debt that even the Buddha has said that it will never be repaid within one lifetime. I have an 84-year-old mother staying together with me. I always make time to sit beside her, talk to her, relive her memories, encourage her to think of all the good deeds. Never neglected her needs, and ensure that even in these final days, as she spent her last lapse, she will have that comfort that there's someone who is repaying the debt out of gratitude to her. Now, it's a very good, rejoicing act. And I'm fortunate to have her within the premise of my house. Many children have actually sent their elderly to the home because they have no time and they have no obligation. And worse still, some of them, after sending to the home, refuse to pay. We must, out of this obligation to repay, out of this gratitude, the spirit of gratitude, we must ensure that in their final days, because of the great debt we owe to them, that we will continue to be of comfort, to support, and to be their companion. Now, gratitude is a response to kindness, because it is always remembering the kindness and generosity of another person. And once you have this intention to respond to kindness because you recognize and you appreciate and you acknowledge, it is an automatic. Because in each and every one of us, we actually got that little fire of gratitude. It's only how to develop it and how to rekindle it back. And it is a good response. So by being happy is itself a kind of gratitude. So it's two-way. Because when you are happy, you have no negativities. When you have no negativities, you do not think of all the bad things that has happened. Because sometimes we do have people whom we owe gratitude, but we always remember the weak points. We always remember the bad points. And that actually sort of clouds the whole sense of gratitude. But look on the good part of it, that this person, though at times may be not helpful, but there were many occasions that they did support you. They did give you a kind of beneficiaries or benefits. So you feel happy about it. And when you feel happy about it, it becomes another expression of gratitude. But it is not happiness that brings us gratitude. It always is gratitude that brings us happiness. So if we want to be happy, develop this sense of gratitude. Sense where we recognize, we appreciate, we acknowledge all the goodness in our life, all the support, because it is a very positive emotions. And sometimes we also owe a gratitude to the services that we have that has provided us avenues for good health. And good health doesn't come on its own. There will be a lot of good benefactors, good doctors, good supporters, and even carers who takes good care of us. And after that, when the episode is over, you must bring yourself to go forward and say thank you. Now, this word thank you actually is not easy to say. Many people have this block. But if you constantly bring yourself to be able to say thank you for all this kindness, for all this assistance, we develop that readiness to show. And that readiness becomes a habit. So gratitude is also a human emotion and is also a good habit. And I think the Dhamma teaches us to develop good habits in life. So whenever we have the chance, say thank you. Pick a call and call. Gratitude, like we said earlier, is the key to happiness. So when gratitude is practiced regularly from the heart, it leads to a richer, fuller, and more complete life. Now, it's impossible to bring more abundance into your life if you are feeling ungrateful, because that will retard. That will actually block. Now, why? Because the thoughts and the feelings that you emit as you feel ungrateful are very negative emotions. And they will attract more and more of those feelings and events into your life, because good begets good, positive begets positive. But if you're negative, then it begets negative. This is a law of attraction, whether you like it or not. So gratitude is very strongly associated with greater happiness. So a lot of people feel happy. When you have gratitude, that helps people feel more positive emotions. Now, when you are able to be in a position to transform others and to counsel others from negative to positive, you feel good about it, isn't it? And then also, when you relish good experiences and you think back and says that this good experience did not come on its own. Someone has supported you, someone has actually guided you, someone has actually taught you into the ability to relish good experiences. Then a sense of gratitude again arises. And when you're able to improve your health, like in the last 3 weeks when I was actually down with a very bad cough, it was very difficult to cure. The cough kept on coming back, very stubborn. And finally, I was introduced to a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. And through her help, she recommended many, many herbs. And after consuming it today, I'm able to speak without having that itchiness of the throat and coughing very badly. So improving my health through the help of a very great TCM practitioner. I'm very grateful to her. And I sent her a very big, virtual flower. And because she also was, treating me on virtually, I did not go to the medical hall. She was asking me to show pictures of my tongue, pictures of my nose, pictures of my phlegm. And at the end of the day, she diagnosed it and recommended the medicine. And we prepared the medicine and then sent by Grab. Now, this is a very modern norm of treating people now, right? Because she was afraid that it could be associated with COVID because of the cough. So when my health improved, I felt a very strong sense and spirit of gratitude. I sent her a very nice virtual flower and sent her a good picture of a person paying respect and says, thank you very much. I'm very grateful. I think she will feel very good. She will feel very happy. And she will continue to treat more people who needs her assistance. Now, when you deal with adversity, you need support and advice. And if you can help them to deal with adversity, then this person transforms. This person becomes better, feeling good. There will always be a sense of gratitude. And sometimes they can even send you a message or WhatsApp or even call you and thank you. See the power of gratitude. And of course, gratitude always builds strong relationships. When you are grateful to one another, this is actually a strong bond. And strong relationships develop from there, especially with your bosses, because you are grateful for what they have done and promote you and given you a good career, and even sometimes to a certain extent facilitates and coach you towards becoming a better employee, and then training you to be better in the trade, so that one fine day you will be like him, a boss. That kind of strong relationship is also based on the sense of gratitude, because you appreciate, you thank them, and it is a long-term relationship. So a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. I've always believed in this, that when you are grateful, somehow or other you attract a lot of 贵人, a lot of benefactors, and you continue to have a good, comfortable life, free from a lot of encumbrances, because you have a grateful heart, and there will be a lot of miracles happening in your life. So I'm utterly convinced that the key to lifelong success is the regular exercise of a single emotional muscle called gratitude. This is quoted, and I am a strong advocate of this, because our success in life is not a single person's affair. It is a team. It is working together with others, and at the same time feeling grateful for what they have done. So gratitude breeds success. So because that's why every successful person, you ask them who are their benefactors, they always remember their benefactors. They always remember their teachers. They always remember the good things that is done to help them to overcome the crisis. And they always mention it in their speech. These are successful persons who will keep on breeding more success. So there are many acts we can do. There is even occasion which is called Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving to your forefathers, Thanksgiving to your people who are what you call pioneers in this industry, Thanksgiving to all your community, and to even your country. And on that occasion, everybody is asked to express their gratitude. Remember that in their minds. And if possible, express it, show it. So there is kindness and gratitude which has to be reciprocated. Now, of course, if you don't reciprocate it to your benefactors, then reciprocate it to somebody as a continuation of that process. Because gratitude is a response to kindness. And you want to continue this chain and pass it down the line. So gifts given for the benefit of others with trusted motives is also one way to show your gratitude. So you remember your what you call your benefactors or your supporters or even your bosses and your teachers, and you send a fruit basket on occasion. And in the what do you call in the card, you say, "I'm very grateful for what you have done for me. And what I am today is due to all your kindness and generosity. Thank you very much." When a person received this card, how would they feel? And would they think of abandoning you, or would they think of, yes, this person has a good virtue in him and he is a person of integrity. I want to continue supporting and provide for him. So only when you have kindness, given kindness to others, then you will know the efforts and appreciate. Same thing with the people who receive this expression of gratitude. You realize that you have given kindness to others and you would like to continue this good deed. And at the same time, generates a lot of good karmas for your benefit in the future. So gratitude is also equal to mindfulness, because why? It has to actually embed it inside the mind and be mindful all the time. Not single moment should we forget the generosity and the goodness that others have done for us. So we must have a good sense of what is being done and remembering it. So keep being mindful. And there are so many people that we should have gratitude for. Without saying, parents is the greatest source for us to bestow the gratitude, because we owe them a lot. And even in their later years, especially when they are incapacitated, it is the best time to show our thanks and repay our debts before they leave. And these memories that they endure will bring them forward and into the next life. And who knows, because of the strong bond of relationship, we may bond again to meet each other. Now remember our teachers, whether they be material teachers or spiritual teachers. They are the one who taught us the key towards the art of living and towards the art of success. Without them, we will not be what we are today. A lot of people shows gratitude to employers too. They thank their employers once a while. They remember their employer's birthday, greet them very heartfully. They remember occasions when they send even fruit baskets or hampers on a festive occasion. How many of you do that? And often than not, you send it to them not because you owe it to them, but because you want to express the spirit of gratitude. And of course, your masters, your sifus, or your icons, whom you have lead, whom you have learned the art of trade, and you are now successful. So sifu is the one where you have served tea before, you should continue to serve tea every occasion. Now it's good that once a year, meet them up and eventually says, Sifu, let me serve you a cup of tea to express my thanks for what I'm learning today. Have gratitude to the leaders. They have sacrificed. They have provided leadership, leading us out of crisis. Leaders in many forms, not only in government, but also in societies. And lastly, of course, can you have gratitude to your adversaries, your enemies? Now, a lot of time we say that, your enemies are your teachers. Because of that, you learn patience, you learn tolerance. So it's good to continue to support them. And who knows, if you can change and transform your adversaries, this is the best missionary work that you will be doing. So every day, keep a journal listing of what you are grateful for, if you can. Sometimes think, okay, who shall I express my gratitude? Maybe write a letter to an individual who had a positive impact on your life and share it with them. Or you may want to learn a new philosophy, a new religion, and experiment with the idea of a regular prayer to express your gratitude and thanks every day in your mind. Take up a yoga or meditation practice to maintain your mindfulness. And with that peace of mind, be grateful and be happy. Lastly, of course, practice responding with the praise, thank you, with gratitude, appreciate what you have done, rather than taking credit for doing good. Even though 80% of the success is due to your hard effort, but there is another 20% which you have to thank. And make sure those people who support the 20% is also being thanked for. So in the art of spirit of gratitude, visualize your life without that person or thing to help understand the true value that they add to your life. Especially your parents, if your parents are not there to support you. Especially your subordinates, if they are not there to support you. Especially your associates, your friends, your relatives, who, no matter what difficulty you have, sometimes dished out 100, 200 ringgit when you were young to support your education. Though it may not be much, but they help in one way or another. I always remember this auntie who, every time when he comes to visit my family, he would take out 100 ringgit. And at that time, 100 ringgit was very big. And he says, use this as your pocket money so that you have enough to eat and become strong. And I always remember this auntie. Congratulate or reward yourself on the job well done. Sometimes when you did something good, always pat yourself on your back. And this is also a sense of gratitude that you have managed to be able to overcome the difficulties and be able to succeed in doing the job well. Of course, if you can set daily intentions, what you intend to do today. Shall I call up this person? Shall I say a prayer for this person? And you hear that that person is sick, read it, a metta, and says, may she or he be well and happy. Of course, place a visual cue somewhere that will remind you that you must think of grateful thoughts. And when I go to Himalayas, I always collect rocks like this. And of course, if I don't engrave it, I will write the word gratitude. So this is called a gratitude stone. It's a good where someone give it to you and you place it in front of your study table or your workstation. And it catches your eyes every time you are in that position. And you say, yes, today I must express my gratitude. I must be grateful to whatever that is being done. So it's a good icon, but it's not necessarily in this form. You can have many forms that can remind you that you have a spirit of gratitude and a virtue to be developed. And you know that this virtue is very important in developing the key to your success and prosperity. So with that, may this gift of Dharma excels all gifts, excels all tastes, and excel all delights. May you be craving freed and vanquish all your suffering. Right? So hopefully, I will be able to answer some of your questions with the remaining time. Thank you very much. May you all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Dato' Chadicha. A big sadhu to you for the very interesting, very inspiring and very insightful talk this morning. And also the very interesting and very inspiring sharing of yours on the very interesting beginning of Metta Lodge, Johor. We hope that your effort and also the collective effort of all of us can lead to the greater flourishing of the Buddha Sasana for the good, welfare, and happiness of the many. This morning talk is very interesting and also very beneficial. I think all of us learn the secret of how to lead a happy, peaceful, harmonious, and successful life by cultivating the virtue of gratitude. And now it's time for Q&A. Brothers and sisters in the Dharma, if you have any question for Brother Dato' Chadicha, you may type your questions in the comments box, and then we will invite Brother Dato' Chadicha to answer your question. Is there any question? Can we have the first question? From Brother Leong Yu Ming. How can one skillfully convince and correct the wrong view or understanding of a child who is not grateful to his parents, who had done some injustices to the children earlier life?
This is a very common event, and it has happened to many families. So at the same time, I think we always say that it's leadership by example. Now, those who have been able to be exposed to the Dhamma, they should take the lead. And they should be what you call creating events or occasions where you can serve tea to your parents. And I always remember that every Chinese New Year, it has become our traditional practice since we were young. And on Chinese New Year, we'll kneel before our parents and we will serve a cup of tea. And it has now catch up with a lot of families now. Very good. And at that time when we are serving the tea, we always have to say these words of gratefulness. We thank our parents. We thank them for taking care of us. And in that occasion, we promised. We expressed our promise to say that we will take care of you. We will be, what you call, supportive of you. And rest assured that we will always be happy and grateful as your children. And this kind of traditions continues to inculcate a sense of gratitude in the children. And you will notice that children who are brought up in this kind of environment will then always have this idea that we must always thank our parents and be grateful to them. So this is again one of the traditions or skill that will cultivate. Of course, you can bring them to listen to the Dhamma and talks on gratitude. And at the same time, if they are convinced, then they will continue to become one. But unfortunately, not many people have that opportunity. Rare, you know, when brother Chuan mentioned that rare is the hearing of a Dhamma. So in that case, then we probably have to spread and promote this traditional practice of trying to express gratitude and always remember to say thank you. And sometimes even in your message, always says, I'm very grateful to what you have done. So not only to your parents, to many people. I always write in my WhatsApp and thank my boss. Although I'm no longer serving in the company, but he still retains me as an advisor and also as a non-executive director. He appreciates my service. And I also write back because I says, I appreciate what you have done for me. Even at this time when actually I'm getting like a pension from you. And out of gratitude, you know, tell me what you need and what you want to do. Just let me know. And I'll always be ready to help. So he also feels a sense of happiness as a result of hearing somebody who is grateful for what he has done. And he continues to support me. All right. So probably there are some skillful means that you can convince and correct the wrong views. But we always believe leadership is the best. Leadership by example is always the best. So if you believe in it, do it. Don't procrastinate. Right? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tato, for the very meaningful answer. That to teach our children on gratitude, then we ourselves must show leadership by example, doing the same as expected from our children. Okay, there's one. It's not a question, it's a comment by Sister J. Matt. So wonderful, so meaningful, Tato. Chia, thank you for your sharing, and I shall use it to help my children and colleagues feel more gratitude instead of complaining all the time. That's a very good comment. Yeah, we go to the next question. Is there any question? Brother Alfred, next question, please. What is the best way to cultivate gratitude in ourselves and in our children? I think this one, but Tato has just answered just now. Yeah.
Always encourage them to say thank you. Whenever things are given to them, whenever somebody helps them, always make sure that, thank you, I appreciate your help. I'm very grateful for what you have done. And these are key words, which sometimes finds it very, very difficult to come out. But we are saying we are cultivating a habit. And I think the Dhamma helps us to develop positive habits. Yeah. And these habits are where you can say thank you very easily, where you can actually express your gratitude very easily. Now, a lot of us, we don't pick up the phone or we don't do the WhatsApp to express gratitude to people who have helped us. Try now, and you will see a good response. I tell you, the other person and the other side will eventually respond back very positively. And then you feel happy, he feels happy. Well, that's what we do, isn't it? Promote happiness. So, best way to cultivate in your children is that teach them when they are young. And they see you doing this in your home, you being the parents. and see those people who are bosses, they thank their subordinates. He says, I'm very grateful for what you have done to support the company. Especially in this pandemic time, some bosses really go to the extent of expressing their thanks for, say, continue to be with me although I'm in trouble. And express their gratitude. I tell you, when they said that, which employee want to leave him? They will continue to support him because he says, okay, you have supported us by giving a lifeline so that we can support ourselves and survive. Although it's half pay or although it's a very much reduced pay, but at least we still got a job to call. And then yet, you thank us for that. And we should thank you, not you thank us. So you see the expression of counter gratitude. And this is positive attitudes that we should encourage. Thank you.
No wonder you are so successful, Dato. I think this must be one of the secrets of that you apply in your life.
Actually, I always tell my staff when I was a group CEO, I have so many subsidiaries and so many general managers and managers below me. I always tell them that you are not my staff or subordinates. You are actually my friends, and I'm only your coach. I'm only your facilitator. And we work together. You don't work for me. We work together. And you try to help them out of their crisis rather than reprimand them, rather than push them down and trying to run them out. But you will realize that then they have this, sense of gratitude. And I have a lot of my staff, eventually they follow me whenever I move on to another organization. So I bring the staff along. Sometimes not good, you go and pull out the staff from your previous company. But I say, I leave it to you. If you want to follow me, you follow me. And they express their gratitude and they say, no, we want to follow you into the new company. And a lot of my staff from the other company come to this company. And then eventually we work together again. So I always say, you don't work for me, you work with me, not work for me.
Okay, we go for the next question. Hi, Dato Chia. When we still haven't found our purpose in life or our passion in what job we want to be in, may I know how does spirit of gratitude help?
Well, purpose in life is that you must actually, I was conducting Dharma works yesterday, and I was talking about wealth generation and wealth management. But being wealthy and making a good career and succeed in your career, having lots of success, if you have not found the niche of a purpose in life, that success becomes meaningless. So you need to achieve success with meaning or purpose in your life. So what is the purpose in life? Ask yourself. Is that you want to be happy and make others happy too? And that is a good purpose in life. Because you pursue so many things. At the end of the day, the final question is always, what do I gain from that? Happiness, isn't it? You are in search of happiness. And when you're in search of happiness, you don't want to be in search of the fleeting happiness. That means happiness that is attached to something. But that something or phenomena is subject to impermanence. And when that disappears, your happiness also disappears. When that phenomena fades away and subsides, your happiness also subsides. So you are in search of a very permanent happiness. So in the Buddhist term, we use the word bliss rather than happiness. You want to achieve a bliss. So when you are in pursuit of happiness, you gain your happiness, at the same time also benefit others and provide happiness to others. You transform their lives into a happy state. You have actually found a niche in life. And it's quite easily done, in whatever job that you do. And it also develops a passion when you want to help others, when you want to support others, when you want to benefit others. That becomes a passion in the job itself. I'm now very much involved in projects which deals with senior living, because I realize that there's a lot of aged where they are living alone on their own, especially even our Buddhist elders who, after retiring from the committees and all this, and then eventually you don't find the rest of the other members coming to see them. And you'll find that, if they are left alone in the home, if their spouse has left them, then there is no companion. or probably most of them are not married or do not have children. And this is the niche that I'm trying to create in society, that, you know, not only do we provide a paid home where you pay for your stay, you can also provide charities or subsidize. So some Buddhist organizations are now being pushed and encouraged to try and organize this kind of charitable projects. You can call it charitable, but you can also call it a project itself to help your fellow members. But in order to do this kind of project, you need to have passion. So what is your passion? Your passion is you want to help our elder communities to have a meaningful last lap. My mother is very fortunate. He don't have to stay in an old age home. He stays with me, and I'm only the only, what you call, a boy. And of course, I have a sister. My sister stays away. So I take care of her. My sister visits once at a time. But we always spend some time to sit with them, talk to them, and also ensure that they are comfortable. So my passion is to see whether I can provide these services not only for people at home aging in place, but also those who have no choice but to sell off their premise and property because it's too big for them. They check into a more comfortable home using that whatever money, and subsequently have a good last lap of life. So there is the passion there. And I always tell people that if you don't have the passion, you cannot go into this project. So you must have a passion in your job. And then eventually you will then realize that when these people come back to thank you, appreciate you, respect you, because you are of integrity, oh, that rejoicing, money cannot buy one. You always, when you think of it, a smile will appear on your face. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dato. And thank you to Sister Wanyi for this very good question. I hope you're happy with the answer given by Dato. We go for the next question. From Clank and Coast Buddhist Association. If a senior in 60s having no young family members send their parents to elderly care home for better facilities, physical strength assistance, and financial cost effective, does it mean we compromise our sense of gratitude? Dato?
Well, as I said earlier, there are many categories of senior living, right? If you go to some of the welfare homes, you will be shocked that these welfare homes, these what you call elderly, are treated as commodities. And the way they were bathed, the way that they were sunning themselves in the sun, you almost treat them like, you know, just human beings, but there is no element of love and compassion. But if you are sending your elderly to the home, and if you can afford it, send them to proper senior living homes where they have activities organized for them, and at the same time they are taken care of comfortably. Many a times, some of these homes lacks in a certain what you call passion of love, passion of compassion, but they may be one grade. My vision is eventually we will need them to be preoccupied, and we must have volunteers to come in, not to run the home, but to offer companionship. You visit them, you adopt them, like Sumanjaya adopting one of these senior living homes, and send your volunteers in batches. That this time you have 3 people, 4 people, go and talk to them. You know, when you are old, you are very chatty. When you're old, you like to tell your old stories, but you got no listener. And you will be spending on your wheelchair staring at the sky or staring at the ceiling. So if you can sit down, hold their hands, talk to them, encourage them to think of all the good deeds, all the good merits that they have accrued. Imagine, this is actually a very strong key to prepare them for their subsequent passing on. And they need a good last thought. And if they are encouraged to think of positive and good thoughts all the time, that could be the dominating thoughts at their last breath. And we assisted in encouraging them for a good rebirth. Because time is coming. Well, it's only a matter of time, maybe a few more years to go. But if they can create that habit, that tendencies, mental tendencies, we are indeed helping them to not think of negativities and all the complaints and depressive emotions, but always thinking of good things. And that's what I always did when I sit beside my mother and tell her, hey, you have done a lot of good things. You have supported a lot of charities. You have given a lot of help to your relatives. Think, recollect. And whenever you see her recollect, she has a smile. And if she can dwell in that positive thoughts and good thoughts, you are actually creating a good mental tendencies. And you help a person in their later years. So companionship is also very important. Not only do you create such facilities, you also must be able to create the emotional support. And I'm also now very keen to learn another psychology. I'm attending the psychology course, which is currently by BGF. But I wanted to zero in on the psychology of a senior person. What were they thinking at that time? And how we should help them to formulate and to encourage them to have good thoughts. And this is one of my last mission, hopefully, in life. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dato'. I noticed there are many questions today. But due to time constraint, I think we can answer one more last question.
Okay.
My apology to all those that we are not able to answer your question. We allow for just one last question due to time constraint by Sister GK Tan. Thank you, Dato' Charlie, for your inspiring talk. We will learn the most from our critics. What's the best way to cultivate gratitude to these people, to our critics?
That reminds me of the story which I tell over and over again. When I was actually, hired by a big corporation to be the CEO. And the moment I arrived and checked in, and we had our first meeting, I noticed already there is a critic or adversary among the midst. And this person, because he was actually quite senior and he was aiming for that post. But I think the board decided that they wanted someone from outside and to give fresh, impetus. So he was actually very critical, sabotaging every move, every suggestion and comments. And then I realized that, this person, I have to do something about it in order to help overcome this dilemma. And I remember the Buddha's words in the Dhammapada. The word says, hatred is not overcome by hatred. By love alone is hatred cease. Now, when I heard these words ringing in my ears, I say, okay, this is the way I should be dealing with my critics and my adversaries. So I decided not to be disturbed by it, by him. I decided to be friendly. I decided to be kind. I'm generous in giving him his, his privileges. And at the same time, I took it upon myself to greet him every morning. He doesn't greet me, but I greet him and says, good morning. Hi, good morning, so and so. And every morning when I say that, he doesn't respond. He just either look away or he just looks straight and he walk on. Well, keep trying. And that's what the Buddha says, persistence, patience. And eventually one fine day, I heard a grunt. When I say good morning, there was a grunt back and said, good morning. Wow, that was good. Some response is happening. And eventually I continue. The good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And one fine, and continuously, that grunt becomes more, audible. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So a good morning gets a good morning. And then eventually I invite him to join me for a breakfast. I say, why not you come in to the pantry and we had a breakfast and have a cup of coffee and some croissants. And he accepted. And then eventually I invite him for lunch when we say, hey, now the meeting is getting too late. Okay, now let's break. Would you like to join me for lunch? And apparently he agreed. And eventually he joined me for lunch. And we worked late and then he joined me for dinner. Lucky he never joined me go home. So that adversary or critic became a very great friend until even today. We call up each other, we WhatsApp, we support, we send a lot of good, but positive talks, to share. And isn't that the best way? And I'm very grateful for him because he taught me the lesson of what we call patience, tolerance, and understanding, number one. He taught me to practice my Dhamma. And what you call out of gratitude, I continue to support him. I continue to encourage him. And then it begets gratitude back. And so now gratitude, whenever he has a good tip, whenever he has a good advice, he will always share with me. And whenever he has a good opportunity, also business opportunity, he will write to me first and say, would you like to venture into this or not? Think about it. There you are. You have an adversary becoming a good friend. And hatred is not overcome by hatred. By love alone is hatred ceased. That word rings very true. It may not happen yet in your life, but whenever you face with circumstances like this, remember the Dhammapada. There are so many verses that changes and transform us into the better side. Okay, thank you, Brother Chim, for the last question. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Dato, for a very good answer to a very good question. And once again, my apology to the rest who have asked questions that we will not be able to answer today due to time constraint. And once again, thank you to Dato for the very interesting, very inspiring, insightful talk this morning. This give us many good advice, many good take-home value, how to live a happier, a more peaceful and harmonious, and a more successful life. And also to be likable, to be liked and to be loved by others by cultivating the virtue of gratitude. Thank you, Dato. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well, great gratitude to Dato Chalicia for the Dhamma sharing spirit of gratitude, Katanu Sutta, which I felt is very inspiring and very helpful, very practical to help us to have a better life, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. I noticed there are a lot of gratitude being expressed towards our speaker this morning. For I'm sure we have been enlightened and we have learned a lot, and you will help us to prepare what we should do today or tomorrow or next week. This morning, we have all participated in the Sunday Buddha Puja service and listening to the Dharma sharing, a very interesting Q&A session. We have learned a lot. With the merits accrued, let us share and dedicate the merits to all our living and departed relatives, and families and friends, and to all beings. We would like to share the merits to those who had fallen ill. May they have a speedy recovery. To the frontliners, example, the doctors and the nurses in the hospitals, and those who are seeking treatment at the hospital, may they be free from harm and danger. Sharing of merits. Imang no punya bagang mata pitu nancha acharya nancha sabba satanancha sabba mitanancha sabba nyatinancha sabba petanancha sabba devatanancha bhajema. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema sabbe sata sukita hontu. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu. Yava Nibbana Pattiya Idang me punyang asavakaya vahang hotu. Idang me punyang nibbanasa pachayo hotu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, before we end, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddhang Pujemi, Dhammang Pujemi, Sanghang Pujemi. Sukhi Hontu. To all devotees, thank you very much for participating. And those who have given us the responses of likes, love, and all the responses in the comments box. Please continue to help me to thank the speaker, Dato Charlie Chia. And we have come to the end of this 58th online Sunday Buddha Puja service. We will continue with the Sunday Buddha Puja service on Sunday, 12th of September. We encourage you to share the link with your family members. Please refer to the societies, all your societies' Facebook, SJBA Facebook, for the poster. With the COVID-19 pandemic, please continue to stay safe, stay home. May you and family be safe, well, happy, and peaceful always. Sukhi Hontu, Sabbe Sata Sukita Hontu.
Bahong sahan semabhinim mita sayudantang ngirimi kelang udita Sasena marang Dana di dhamma vidina Jitwa munindo Tang ti